Have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi everybody and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. It is Sunday here in New Zealand, currently 12:36 p.m. and boy, it's another sunny day, 2 days in a row. Thank goodness for that. And of course, we're heading into winter soon, so it's pretty nice to have these cool winds, but very sort of sunny, summery kind of days outside. So very nice indeed. So I hope you guys are enjoying it out there. We're going to get into a lot of topics today. And it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be checking out a lot of projects, a lot of big utilities coming to PulseChain, and also we're going to check out some of the reasons why chart pulled down over PulseChain overnight. So good chance to pick up some cheap bargains at the moment on PulseChain, and we're going to talk all about that. We're going to get into talk about King. We're going to revisit King. We're going to revisit Axel. Of course, Launchpad. A lot of people wanting to make their own tokens. And of course, you earn some pretty incredible returns with King. PulseX, most token. And of course, Teddy takeover. So everyone's loving that. I think it's a pretty good combination, to be honest. We're going to be talking about Crypto Coffee. Yeah, boy. The number one influencer in the Pulse chain, launching his own token, the TopHat. And of course, it's been around for a little while, but it's really had the liquidity pumped into it and launched like yesterday, pretty much. We're going to get into the biggest thing, of course, coming in the short while, which is the mega, and I say mega because it is a really big deal, the Banxa Onramp to PulseChain, and it's perfect timing because it's going to allow a lot of people to onboard the PulseChain within 5 minutes, and a lot of new people to onboard, and a lot of new capital to flow into PulseChain. So it is a mega big deal, and of course, backed by the big Sun Mini Meal corporate, which is already, I think, taking something like 20% of its revenues or sales price going into PulseChain, and that's just going to be incredible over the future there. So it's pretty exciting times. Besides that, of course, I think PulseChain fundamentals are looking pretty bullish. That being said, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get these sort of gray swan, black swan events every so often. We've got definitely one happened overnight, but we've got a lot of really, I think, white swan events coming up for the old PulseChain, and just a matter of getting out and spreading the word. That's all we can say. We got Wookie in house there, up the wires. Yeah, apparently the Warriors won. If you're into rugby league, that's a big game in Australia and New Zealand. Then yeah, the Warriors there for the New Zealand team ended up winning. So that was pretty good display. Big shout to Wookie there. Diamond Hands in the house there as well. Good shout out. When Clark Kent a coin on pump tires, says Diamond Hand. Well, you just never know. You just never know. Now, as you guys know, there has to be a really good reason for me to do anything like that. So we'll talk about that maybe in the future. We want something very special if we do something like that. What else we got here is the show. Definitely share the show around. And of course, if you're on X at the moment, just take that moment to just hit that repost button. Smash the likes and share it around. If you're over on Rumble, of course, don't forget to repost and get into the chat. We really like a lively chat, so get in there. And if you're on YouTube, of course, you guys know the drill. Share, and smash the bell for future videos as well. And definitely smash the likes and get in the comments. You know how it rolls. We got Sean in the house there. Time to pump, baby. Time to pump, yeah, and time to accumulate as well, because when somebody sells, it's often a big whale sells. It's often a time to buy. That's all we can say. Hey, we got Gugard in the house there. Good morning, King. Woohoo! Yeah, we're going to be talking about King later on in the show, so stay tuned for that. King there, obviously. Yeah, like I say, I think the lineup there just shows you how good Gugard is, because, you're earning PulseX, Most, and Teddy. I think 3 very quality tokens, and so we're going to talk about that coming up there. Looking very, very nice indeed. All right, let's get into the show, shall we? We got a lot to talk about. I mean, honestly, there's going to be a lot of info drops, so I hope you guys are ready for it. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh, okay, there we go. The crowd goes wild. Yeah. Let's bring it on. All right, so without further ado, let's get in there and let's talk about the markets, because we've got no stock market today, but we have got the old crypto. So let's bring that up. And we've got the market cap at the moment, 3 trillion billion. So 3 trillion 88. That's still a very small market, guys, in the world. That's a very small market still. You guys know it's going to re-rate dramatically. Down 2.5% today. So another little dip, but man, it's on the road to glory. And I'm going to talk about live that. You don't want to miss out the alpha that's going to drop today. We're going to be getting into lots of cool stuff here and lots of good links as well, useful links for people to use. Now, let's get into the results here. We've got Bitcoin, $96,000, down almost 1% the last 24 hours. We are in the lazy weekend, right? I mean, it's a be fair. It is Sunday here. It's probably late Saturday afternoon in the United States on Saturday. So, we are in that sort of quieter part of the weekend. We've got Ethereum at the moment is at 1834. That is down 1/3%. So not too bad on the old Ethereum there. Number 3, XRP down 0.8%. BNB at number 4, 5-year at the moment down 0.1%. So BNB doesn't move as much generally. We got Solana as well is down 1.1% at number 6. And a Doge there is down 3.6%. That was one of the better performers, right, that we've seen this week. And it's down today, though. And that is at number 8. And finally, Cardano there at number 9. Not finally, but Cardano there at number 9. Or ADA there is up 0.5%. So we have got one that's actually up in the top 10. And then Tron rounding us off at the top 10 there is down 1.3%. So those are sort of your marks at the moment on those. In terms of the best performer over the last week, because it kind of is near the end of the week, we've got actually Bitcoin is the top leader there, up 1.3%, but not much action across the top 10 there at all with a Dogecoin, pretty much because the last day is down 3.4% for the week. So there we go. Not much of a move. We got a little bit of a move in Ethereum, up 1%. We're over $1,800 on Ethereum. That's probably a good sign, but that's about it. So let's have a look at the best performers in the top 100 over the last week. We can see Virtual Protocol doing pretty well. It's been there quite a lot, so it's probably worth checking out. It's up 52%. We've got Monero has come out of nowhere as well, up 21%. Hyperliquid there as well is up 16.8% as well. That's been around for quite a bit. Flare is up 13.9%, and Nexo there at number 5 is up 10%. So there's a couple of coins in the top 100 getting over a 10% increase in the last week, and maybe some of those you could check out potentially for your portfolio. At least shall see. Now, in terms of the top gainers, we've got Bitboard. It's up 172% on CoinGecko. We've got a new XAI Gork. And I think this is possibly related to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk was posting about Gork. So this could be related to that. That's up 123%. And then we've got Efinity there, up 150%. So there may be a couple of those worth looking at, seeing what's driving those. You don't want to buy the top right. So just remember that, don't want to buy the hype. Also, good to use your RSI, TA on those as well, just to give you a big idea. That's kind of play. But, maybe they're fundamentally going to be good. So, you could definitely check it out. Maybe wait for them to cool off a little bit. And if they're fundamentally looking good, then maybe some pickups there. We've got Su, Mantra, and Havana Chain. They're all pretty much trending, but down. And, of course, Mantra, you probably it's down at 42 cents now, right? And if I remember rightly, that was up at $6 billion. Was that one? I think it was. Yeah, it fell off the cliff, right? That was the big drama. $6 billion, and is now currently worth how much? $402 million. The old Mantra OM in the house. And that cliff there, no one wants to be on that cliff. Some people might enjoy base jumping, but I don't think that's what they had in mind. Going to crypto and base jumping off that cliff there. All right, I don't know why we got a magical sound there, but we just did. And we got Sean in the house there. Air the dip on Air the dip. Was Air the dip? Is that Air the dip? Air the dip on Sparta. Air the dip on Sparta. Let me think about what you're saying there. Dip on Sparta. Pick up the dip on Sparta, maybe. We got DGN Hickson in the house there with the claps, looking good. And Tyndall says Treasury yields both EHEX and PX just for holding on the PulseChain, says Tyndall. And that is the old Treasury yield. And of course, Treasury's matched with USDC, USD Tether, I think, yeah. All right, so let's move on. That is pretty much that. Let's look at the Bitcoin at the moment, the Bitcoin chart, and it's looking pretty good, actually. We might be down just below 96, but actually we're looking very good up here. And where else we've been? Recently, we've been to 98,000. That was like 2 days ago. And we've still got our golden cross, and we averted a death cross. So all good in the old Bitcoin. You guys know that we've got the Trump strategy playing out here. In fact, I'm going to read that out now. Actually, I was going to wait a little bit, but we're going to read that out now. because we've got bullish news coming all the way to the 4th of July, as you guys know. And I'm not really set up for it, actually. Where's my let me pull this up here differently. I was going to do it a little differently, but we're gonna talk about it now. I posted this out yesterday. Let me show here. I was posting a lot of random stuff out, but I posted Trump's economic strategy. This is for people that want to pick this up. If you're trying to go, what's Trump doing? What's been all the chaos? Well, the chaos is part of his madness, and it gets the results, right? So if you've ever read his book, Art of the Deal, you'll know some of his techniques, and he uses them all the time. I mean, it's not like he writes a book and then doesn't use it. He uses it up all the time, and he's very effective at it. Now, occasionally he misses the mark, but it's pretty rare, pretty far between. Now, Trump's economic strategy for the golden age of America, and I call this the three-legged stool, but because of an American audience, I changed stool to chair for the obvious reasons. So the three-legged chair, we call a stool a chair, down under. But you guys in America, you guys know what how the uses of that word is mean. But anyway, the three-legged chair there, it is a pretty, we got super bullish for crypto. Super bullish for crypto, of course, is Trump's strategy. It is going to be the golden age of America. Here's the first thing, right? So they've spelled it out for people. The budget deficit, $2 trillion, right? That's huge. That's ginormous. I mean, that's massive, right? I think our total income in New Zealand might be, I don't know, maybe 250 billion US dollars, and you guys are running a deficit of 2 trillion. Now, he's basically aiming to get a balanced budget, right? He's got 4 years to do it, aiming to get a balanced budget. But I think ideally they want to, that's the minimum target. They want to actually move to surplus, right? That's probably what they want to do. How do they do that? Well, they've got this big tax bill, right? They're pushing through. And of course, they've got to avoid having the current tax one going down. Otherwise, the taxes will go up by $4 trillion or something like that. So they're trying to avoid all that and get actually lower taxes, and of course, lower taxes on tips and things like that. And they're trying to get these extended out, right? So this is super huge. Now, what that will do is it will kind of lower the revenue, technically speaking, a little bit from the tax revenue, which makes a budget deficit worse. But the idea is that they can grow to 3 or 4% plus GDP, which is I think, pretty much unheard of since like the 1940s, 50s. Then they can get that income up, and so they're doing everything in their powers to make that happen, right? And this is why we're going into the golden age of America. So he's going to do it. He's going to do it. It's already playing out extremely well. A big tax bill, boost economic growth 3 to 4% plus government income. So overall, it might be a short-term dip, then really rallying on into super big income from those lower taxes. Of course, Doge, you guys know Elon Musk has stepped down recently, and of course his little dream team with big balls and all those young guys there are finding tons of fraud and wasteful spending. A lot of the things are not even tagged what they actually are. And so they're going to reduce government spending. So far, when Elon left, it was about 160 billion, but Trump hinted that could probably get up to at least $500 billion. And you guys know they're targeting on $1 trillion. And I think that there's probably plenty of spending out there, either fraudulent or misplaced, that they could add up to that $1 trillion. So I'm very confident they're going to get there. In fact, it's probably much more than that, but there's only so much you can do. Of course, they're going to be doing something. This is something people don't think much about, but is leveraging the US balance sheet, both onshore and offshore, right? So they're going to be surveying the United States for its asset to get a real realistic view of the potential for the United States. That's both above ground onshore and below ground onshore. And then, of course, also offshore, right? So the East and West Coast, the Gulf of America, they're going to be reviewing all that and trying to maximize that. This is going to be an absolute economic boom by doing that, and really hasn't been done. So this is huge. Now, that will give them, by dealing with the income and expenses and the asset and liabilities, they're going to be able to find income and asset options to deal with the US debt, which is 37 trillion. So this is kind of a summary of the first leg of the chair. And of course, this is dealing with that. And of course, the big key part here is the big tax bill, right? So that's kind of the big anchor there. Number 2, the second leg of the chair, is over-regulation to deregulate and boost financial leverage, remove regulations and boost small to medium banking lending. That's going to be a big part. That's going to boom the Midwest as well. Rebuild manufacturing in the US, including high tech. Obviously, you can rebuild a lot of the old, like automobiles and plate factories like that. Harbor manufacturers, shipbuilding, all those sort of stuff that Trump's going to be doing. but there's some parts of the economy that is fundamentally gone for good, right? Got exported to China. China's wages are starting to rise, but now we've got the era of robots and AI, and so even human beings are being displaced for the first time for real. They used to say it was going to happen, but it's actually happening now, right? So it's the difference. And so now we're moving to this high-tech economy, AI, semiconductors, robots, and all the rest of that sort of stuff. So it's a really big deal. Now, $8 trillion so far has been committed in 100 days already. That is unbelievable. So you're talking about maybe in the Biden era, maybe $1 trillion overall. This is $8 trillion within 100 days. So Trump's not mucking around, and if you compare that to the budget, the income, that's about 7.7 trillion, and here we already got about 8 trillion in investments, and primarily a lot of it's going into car manufacturing and high tech industries. So massive, 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 and of course this is going to continue on as we move forward with the U.S. economy, and the U.S. economy, it's about 27, 28 trillion. So this is a massive amount. That brings us to the third leg in Trump's master strategy he's got to lay down before the 4th of July, and that is the trade deficit. He's got to deal with that too. So what do we talk about? We talked about the budget deficit, talked about the US debt of 37 trillion, and now we've got the trade deficit, 1.2 trillion in trade. Now, this is physical goods, right? This is not to do with services. America is actually a net exporter of services, but it's to do with goods. And this is more fundamental because, services, you can't live on services. You can't defend yourself on services, but you can on goods, right? What you're manufacturing, you can live on those. You can eat the food. You can use the fridge. You can, build your own military weapons. It is very different from services, right? So it is a strategic and fundamental a point of view. And of course, he's going to move the trade deficit 1.2 trillion, and he's going to try and and dependence as well. So dependence, when you're in the international trade order, you got this big dependence, and of course, he's moved it to China. Now, the idea of moving to China, this is the beautiful view was that you modernize China, you let them develop, they do all the manufacturing at low costs, and of course, a lot of the American companies were the ones that actually exported them there, right? So it's all down to them. And then, of course, they would become this flourishing modern kind of democracy. But, of course, all they are is become an authoritarian military regime with expansionary ambitions. So you've basically created another communist Nazi type of era. Now, not as extreme as that at this stage, but has the potential to be. And certainly they have the military, not for defense, but a military that's expected to be so big that it's for expansion, right? And so this is a big issue there. We recently saw, of course, Chinese military down in Australia doing live fire, which was absolutely a scary thing to see that happen, right? So, and they're also building these troop ships to do landings and do new landings, advanced troop ships to do landings. So there are really some real threats there, building up there in China, even though they haven't really had a war since, I think, was it 1969, something like that, which was only a short war, but still, we don't want to see. We already see what they do to the people in peacetime, like the COVID lockdowns. We certainly don't want them to be invading. It gives you reminiscence of the Japanese back on the samurai, right? So we really don't want that to happen. So trade deficit 1.2 trillion and dependence, and of course he's going to pivot that to rebalancing trade. And of course he's got 115 countries so far on that mark. And of course investments. He's already built in $8 trillion in investments. And of course, this is fundamental. And this is something that America's been really behind in, and that is resources. China's been going out into South America, into Africa, all through the Middle East. Of course, it's sewing up all the mineral deals going in Afghanistan for lithium, all these sort of things that China's been doing, some to varying levels of success. But of course, that means if they've been locking up all these key resources, that puts a lot of pressure. In fact, could make the United States eventually run out. And so what's Trump doing? Well, he's realizing that they have to go, particularly for rare earths, right? It's about 14, 15 rare earths that you need for modern electronics. And so he's going for that, right? So it's a pretty big deal. And if it didn't get done now, you're talking about truly a strategic problem for the United States, and it would be a disaster. And so this is the pivot. These pivot on that. Now, obviously, he's restructuring the World Trade Order, 115 countries in line already. He's managed to isolate China. China's under a lot of pressure, factories closing, export sales not being made, a lot of big deals, things happening there. And of course, he's bringing in investment, high tech and manufacturing. And we've just seen that with NVIDIA and many others, etc. The list is long. And he's going to put all these three legs here of the chair: the budget, the tax bill, the regulations and leverage of small, medium banks, and of course, dealing with the world trade order. He's going to have that all in place by the 4th of July. That's the mark there. And that will lay the foundations, as I say, for the top part, the golden age of America. And that will ultimately benefit the rest of the world dramatically. So it might be a little bit of a short-term pain for some countries, but it's going to end up being a massive medium to long-term gain. And this is well overdue. This is well overdue. We've been facing liberal and progressive economists who are all lunatics, and we've now got somebody that's on common sense doing the things that should be done there. Hey, look, people, they vote for terrible things. We've seen Canada and we've seen Australia vote for the same old Marxist, the progressive ideology. You're basically, putting in place your own slavery. But here we have Trump going back to freedom, democracy, safety, security, prosperity. It's truly beautiful thing to see. So very exciting about that. So that's kind of where we are with the old road here. So I'm feeling extremely bullish, hyper bullish about where we're heading for the markets on Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin now, strategic Bitcoin reserve from Trump, a digital strategy from Trump, the altcoin stockpile from Trump. This is mega bullish. And we're going to still have volatility in the markets. It's normal. We've got some of the same players from stock market over on crypto now, but it's still going to be hyper bullish for the markets. And thank goodness, because if we'd kept the old, Biden globalist Democrat progressive worldview, we would be in massive decline because they were intentionally declining the US to hand over power to the UN and, of course, to emulate the Chinese authoritarian regimes. And, of course, they've been very successful with it, even indoctrinating populations to want it. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Remember that 2016 from the WF? That is what they were there. And they just laugh and mock. They laugh and mock the rest of the people. They think the rest of the people are stupid. And apparently a certain percentage of the population falls for it. So you can decide there. Now, that's kind of where we are. We're feeling bullish. I hope you guys are feeling bullish about the crypto. Altcoin season's coming up. The banana part of the curve's coming up. It's going to be pretty exciting. And I think it's going to be quite long and extended as well. As it hits in 25, 26. It's going to be truly beautiful. And hey, look, no reason why it can't continue on to 27, 28 under the golden age of crypto. We could be in something very special here under Trump's leadership. Now, a big thing that we saw with Trump too was he was at, I think, Alabama State University doing the first speech there to President Trump. And he said there's something very important to the young people there who are graduating. And he said to them, you've been told by the Democrats and progressives that you are victims. Don't live your life in victims. Because you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of something the devil would say, right? Be a victim. Be a victim. And of course, Trump saying, no. He really reflects on something that God might say, and that is be a winner. Be a winner. And of course, look at the world with success and don't be a victim. If you're a victim, you're depressed, right? You're depressed, you're oppressed, right? That's a very sort of hellish type of thing. But if you're a winner and you're living in victory, you really are in kind of a heavenly state. And this is the pivot that we are seeing, not only just economically, as I pointed out in that strategy, but actually fundamentally in society. We will not be fooled. We will not be part of that 1984, setup for everybody to be enslaved. And that's what the globalists want. They want us enslaved. We all just become consumers and have to do what we're told. If we don't, we go to prison. Ridiculous things. We already see that sort of stuff in the United Kingdom and here Starmer, as they say. So it's really, very positive where we're heading. Trump is going to lead us into the golden age, and not just in economic terms and crypto, but also freedom and security as well. So it's very, very exciting. We're here. Now, we've also got Ethereum on the market at the moment. Ethereum there, of course, got the EIP upgrade, I think, coming up in 3 days, I think it is. And we're currently sitting just below the 50. So let's see whether we get any excitement from the EIP upgrade and see whether we can break this certainly there's resistance here to going up, which is at the 50-day. The yellow line here is at $1,856. So let's see if we can break that and onwards and upwards. And of course, kind of the next target is obviously 2,000, but 2,000 to 2,100 is kind of the mark we have to break through there. Maybe the EIEP upgrade will allow us to do that moving forward. But in any case, we've got all Trump's trading deals. So even though we probably get 15 top countries, India, Japan, South Korea, all coming out with big deals, it's going to boom the market. And so it's going to be pretty exciting. The only question is what's going to happen around interest rates with the Federal Reserve. Are we going to have enough pressure on them to actually start lowering the rates from 4.25 to 4.5% on the federal funds rate and down a bit lower? It certainly should be going down, probably at least to another 100 basis points. So that's 1 percentage point down to probably about 3.5% at least. So let's see whether that can happen, because that's very important. What's Trump done? He's lowered the oil prices per barrel by about $20 or so through what he's been doing. But he also needs that lowers the input costs into the U.S. economy, right? Because it's pretty much oils, feeds through to probably 85 to 90% of products that have been made in the modern economy. But he also needs to lower the cost of capital for finance, because it affects everything, right? Retail, housing, mortgages, business investment, government recollateralizing debt, it affects it all. And so he needs to lower that rate as well, and get those inputs. If you get the inputs into the economy really, really good, like oil and interest rates, man, you've got a booming economy. Your Fed even starts printing a bit more money. You got that money flowing around. As long as your supply side's coming up, and this is the key thing that Trump's doing, he's a supply side driven economy. And so that is going to be boom, 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 boom. And so you keep inflation, modest in that environment. So exciting times ahead for us all. So that's pretty much it on the old, economy and where we're heading for crypto. We're going to get into, of course, some cool stuff around PulseChain. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about PulseChain, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We got Gonzo in the house there. Is it true Copy is selling Pulse on each side? So PulseChain people can't see it. Is it true that Copy is selling Pulse on each? I do not know. I do not know about that, Gonzo. I have not seen that, but that's interesting. I might look into it later today. We call them stalls. Do you call chairs stalls? Okay, cool. All right. I wasn't sure because I typed up stalls and it came out with what, and so I thought I better change it to steer. But yeah, 3-legged stool then is fine with me, because it actually rings a lot better than 3-legged chair. But hey, just the way it goes. Brennan says, AKA Triple Alliance, g'day from the Harbour City, Sydney, says Brennan. So big shout out to you, Triple Alliance, and Brennan. Very, very cool. And Sydney Harbour, got to be beautiful there, right? Is it sunny? Let me know. So that's kind of where we are. We're going to get into PulseChain. We've got lots of alpha drops and lots of, got one negative thing. It's just unfortunate. But apart from that, I think, a negative is an opportunity, right? That's the way you should look at life. Cup half full. And, lots of things happen and challenges happen. But if you always got that cup half full approach, you'll overcome. There's always the next day, right? That's pretty much it. So kind of cool. All right, so let's get into it, and let's get ready to rumble, as we say. Let's get ready to rumble. I feel like the horn needs to be played now. Let's do that. All right, let's go. The crowd goes wild. All right, let's get into it. PulseChain. We've got so much to talk about, guys. It's going to be a lot of really cool stuff here. But I posted out this post today. Yesterday. Was it yesterday? On Block Explorers on PulseChain. And of course, this is just a summary, because I think a lot of people, there's so much noise out. They don't know where does a block explorer? Can I find one? We get this in the Discord. As far as I know, we're the only community that has a crypto helpline in our Discord. So you should definitely join Discord. Links in the video description. It is a private Discord, so just remember that. And we have a crypto helpline there. People ask questions all the time, and they get help from somebody in the community. And one of the things we get asked about is block explorers. Well, we're pretty awesome on PulseChain. Our developers are building, right? Regardless of what's happening in the price or the price cycle. We've got Midgard, of course, that recently launched. Fantastic, with a lot of AI features in it. Pretty cool. We got that from Midgard. Scan Midgard. And of course, that's midgard.wtf. We've also just had, like yesterday, Lightbeam there from Gerardo. And of course, he's launched that Lightbeam, and that's pretty cool. That's from Gerardo. So we got 2 brand new, really great block explorers, and there's something for everybody on those. The one thing I noticed on the block explorer, I'm not sure if Lightbeam has it, but we need a transaction download if people want to do taxes and things like that. So I have, asked Midgard for that. So let's see how that gets on. I noticed that none of the legacy ones seem to have that. I certainly couldn't find it myself. Transactional downloads, so definitely needs that added. I'm not sure if Lightbeam has it, because I haven't checked through that, but that has just been launched too. Let's have a quick look at these two, just so you can kind of see what these look like. And this is Midgard, pretty amazing. And the cool thing, it has all these tools like a Midgard AI scanner for tokens as well. So it's kind of your first line of defense for checking if a contract's any good. Obviously, you can go to Pulse Place and other things like that. It has its own token factory, has a lot of other things coming up. I don't know if all these tools are working at the moment, but definitely the Explorers Index. It also has the gas prices, tokens, blocks, etc. Pretty cool. Now, that's kind of where we are at the moment. Let me just close that. And yeah, we've got obviously the accounts down the bottom here. Now, you got to remember, a lot of this stuff is pretty much, crowd-funded. A like Midgard, but man, this site is AAA looking. It really is great. So well done to the Midgard team there. Now, we also obviously have Lightbeam. This is brand new, just launched as well. And of course, it's got blockchain, tokens, gas, bridge, portfolio. So it's got a bridge on there. So I haven't actually checked that out. PulseChain bridge holdings there. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that's about, but that is in there. Obviously, we've got the blockchain itself. We have market data as well, transactions on the chain. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, that is kind of where we are at the moment on that one. I'm just trying to see. I don't know whether it has transactional downloads, but that is kind of cool. Let's have a look at this block. That's the block there. It's got all the transaction hashes in there. I don't know if we can go into one of those. Let's go one of those. There's some random one here. Kind of cool. So it has simple and detailed. Yeah, I don't know if they have exports, but the exports probably one feature they all need moving forward. But that is pretty cool. We've got 2 brand new explorers. We've also got legacy, right? So we've got 9mm. And when I say legacy, it's just been around for a while, right? So it's not saying that it's outdated, but 9mm is pretty good. Block Explorer. We've got that 9mm. And of course, we use this all the time, right? But the Block Explorer has blocks, tokens, APIs even. And so this comes key ones there. But I noticed that none of them have an export feature that I'm aware of. I couldn't find any export button. So it's definitely something they need. And of course, Otter, I should say Otter, not Otto. We've got Otter out there. Of course, that is another explorer. Pretty cool. And then finally, we got the official PulseChain scan one, which is IPFS. So I'm not going to download because my software will probably block it at the moment. But that's there as well. You can check out that. Let's give it a try. Should we give it a try? It's probably going to... Oh, no, there it is. So you can download that. And of course, that will open up. Let's see if it opens up on the old scan here. Sometimes my protections on this computer block it. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. We got blockchain and tokens on there too. So not bad as well. But as you can see, we do have dark mode, light mode. So I mean, that's something. But we need a transaction download as well. I think it's the one thing they're all missing so far. But those are the 5 block explorers that I'm aware of on PulseChain, and that is a cool list, right? So I'm going to post that in the chat there. If you guys definitely want to check that out, share it around to your friends as well. Block explorers there, and bam. All right. I told you, man, we're going to have a full show, man. It's going to be non-stop information today. There we go. Block explorers in the house. And that's how we go. Wookie says, what about the 3-legged dog? Yeah, that's definitely, I haven't got a sound effect for that. I'll do it myself. But that's pretty funny, Wookie. All right. So that is pretty much that on the block explorers. Let's have a go. I got another one I want to look at that I just posted yesterday. And we're going to scroll back up here. So let me get back to that in a minute. We're going to scroll right back up here. I had quite a few ramblings here. Now, so major on-ramps to PulseChain. So this is another area that people talk about. How do I get stuff on and off PulseChain? What is it? I'm confused. And that's fair enough, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. We've got major on-ramps on PulseChain. So I've done a list of this. And here we've got the new one coming up, right? Banxa. Woo, this is a mega one, right? I've got that on the thing. It's a mega bank because the potential for it is ginormous, and it's just what PulseChain needs. We need these white swan kind of events. And I'm using that a little bit, a little bit cheekily because white swan typically you don't know it's going to happen, and it happens. Now, and to some people this is the case. They weren't aware of it, and so it happens, and they go, "Wow, that's amazing." But of course, we've been tracking a Sunday mini meal for some time, and Banxa, of course, is the one that's providing that. It's going to be 5 minutes, and it's going to be global access and up to $150,000 for a transaction there. And you can upgrade those, of course. But that is coming on Monday, the 5th of May. Yeah, boy. So that's coming up. For us, it's tomorrow. But for actually, it's going to be 2 days from now, right? So it's going to be Tuesday, Kiwi time. Then we have all the legacy ones. And, of course, Coast there, amazing. You can bridge on fiat. They've now added a number of extra features like euros and new providers, which makes it even faster on Coast. And that basically fiat goes to the Coast stable. They've done $9.6 million so far. They've bought capital into PulseChain directly. There's no funny shenanigans, directly on there. And that's pretty awesome from the Coast team. We've also had PulseChain Bridge, of course, which is PulseChain to Ethereum. And that's from Richard Hart's team, right? And that bridge as well is pretty cool. So we've got the bridge for that. I'm not going to go through all the links for this one, but you can definitely check it out. We got PulseLN, which was really good to a number of different chains and tokens. Particularly, I think BNB is particularly good, but they've got other ones as well. Now, they're not always open, so it just depends, I guess, how they're doing this. I think they're doing it from on-chain to on-chain. So in other words, they have wallets on both chains. I guess if they fill up, they can do swaps. I think that might be how they're doing that. And of course, this is as opposed to a direct, I think what they call RPC or whatever the link they're using to get to the chain that the PulseChain bridge uses. And of course, we've got also swap space there. Now, just before I leave PulseLN, it is super fast. PulseLN, man, it's the fastest out of anything. Like you might take I don't know 10 minutes to half an hour on PulseChain bridge, but man, on PulseLN, it's like a few seconds, bam, it's get done. Particularly through BNB. Now, that's you have to check out the different options, but it's definitely amazing on that point. Now we got swap space, right? So one of the big corporate type of swaps, cross-chain swaps. They do on-chain cross-chain swaps. You got they use Change now, StealthHex, NanSwap, and SimpleSwap. Those are the 4 providers that I saw them using yesterday. And of course, we got Change now. We've got all those individually landed down there. It's number 5. We've also got Portal X, right? Portal X tends to use Change now as their provider, but they're in there as well, and they do multi-chain. A lot of chains are on Portal X, so it's actually pretty flexible if you want a wide range of chains. They're definitely using that. You pay a little bit extra in the fee, but that goes back into the PowerX system, right? So if you're supportive of PowerX, Power City, I should say, tokens like their liquidity forks, etc., then that's worth supporting. We've got Gibbs Finance. I think there's one that Richard Hart used to talk about quite a bit. That's out there as well. Gibbs Finance. We got SparkSwap. SparkSwap still, I think, is like number 4 DEX on DEX Screener. I think they do maybe 100K, 150K in volume. They've still got the DEX swap. I haven't used it, so just make sure. These last couple I really haven't used, so number 8, 9, and 10. So just remember you'll have to do it, maybe a bit of extra. I haven't used Gibbs either, actually, number 7. So just remember that you'll have to, maybe do a little test amount or something like that. It's a good way of testing anything you haven't used before. Sparks, of course, been around. It was pretty popular, and that has got their own exchange. I haven't used it though. We've got Imp Seal there. That is out there as well. I haven't used that either. Now, some of these are particular bridges, so they only do, some of them are multi-chain like Portal X and Swap Space, but then others maybe just certain chains like Base Chain, for example. And then we got Tokens X there as well, and I haven't used that either, but that's out there as well. And you might want to do a little test on that, maybe a couple of little tests or something. I don't know, but that is out there too. It's number 10. So we do have quite an array of on-ramps to PulseChain, and those are the ones that I'm aware of today. And so there's 10 of them, and I'm not sure if there's any others. You can let me know in the chat there, but I think that's pretty much it. And that is kind of cool. But we're getting the big new one, right? Banxa. It's going to be mega big. So not just big, but mega big there. New people, new capital. It's going to be a real winner there in 5 minutes. Pretty cool. Now, that is looking exciting, and we're going to talk a bit more about Banxa. I'm going to post the link to this in the chat there so you guys can get hold of it. So this is a bridge list. Bridge. I should just call it top 10, right? Top 10 bridge or bridges. And I've got to make sure I spell bridges right. I've spelled bridges. Bridges. No, let me write this again. We got PulseChain, bridges. Top 10. I'm going to talk top 10, and I don't know if there's any others, but I'm pretty sure those are it as far as I know. But maybe there's 1 or 2 that are mysteriously running around somewhere. But those are them there. The PulseChain bridges top 10. So save that to your favorites as well. So there we are. You got some block explorers and some bridges and for swapping. You can do on-chain and cross-chain with a lot of these protocols. So there are key tools for PulseChain, particularly if you're new, intermediate to beginner. If you're a seasoned pro on PulseChain, you go like, I've seen all those before. Damn it, I've seen them all before. All right, so there we go. All right, so let's get into it. We got a couple other stuff here. Wookie says, "What day is it down under, Super?" Well, you're in the same country, so you should know. Is a Sunday here. We've got evening, folks. Top of the poofy to you. There's Poofy Token. A big shout out there. Welcome to the chat there as well. Goo Gods in the house says the leagues on the King website have been updated. So we might check that when we come up to a Goo God there. That's quite the tease in the chat there today. We'll get into that. All right. So kind of cool. There it is. And you got to get the sound effect. I added the little sound effects to that because it was kind of cool. So those are 2 key updates I've given today, or 3 plus the economic strategy there. That is kind of the play on that. But let's get into the big news around Banxa. Sun Mini Meal, right? This is the big corporate out of Europe that is supporting on to PulseChain. They got their own token, Soil Token. That's been performing very well on the PulseChain since it did the fork earlier this week. And that's got Banxa going live on Monday. Look at this. Look, here we go. Banxa will go live on Monday. Mega cool. This is a big deal here. Now let's have a look at the recent post because they've just done a new post here. and I just want to get to the right one. So yeah, they got 4 key soil developments at a glance. This is the soil token for Sun Mini Meal, developed by Matthias for Sun AG. The soil token is proving itself as a mature, secure, and future-ready asset for the PulseChain ecosystem. Audited by ETH Authority, rated well secured. Soil passed its full security audit with flying colors, 0 critical issues, 0 high risk, 100% decentralized. This audit confirms Soil meets the highest security standards and is production ready. And this is the one they've just forked over, and of course is rallied from 2.8 cents to 4.4 cents at least. I'm not quite sure what it is right now, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. Midgard PulseChain AI scanner, of course, they ran that. That's that new scanner. We just talked about that on the Block Explorer. Past that, very, very cool. Verified source code, etc. And then number 3, GPT-based review, also passed. And Soil stands out as a textbook example. Nice. And number 4 there, listed on Dick Screener. You can now track Soil on Dick Screener, and that is looking pretty good. So everything is looking pretty good for that, and very nice on the old Soil token there. The big token there from them. Now, let's have a quick look at the update 7 hours ago, how the Banxa launch will benefit PulseChain. And I said it's a mega deal for PulseChain. On Monday, May the 5th, our partner Banxa will enable direct purchases of our token Soil via their widget. So that's how the process is going to work. That's why their Soil token, man, check it out. That's all I'm saying. I've been saying it for some time, and it's done a nice rally, but how high will it go? Could be pretty awesome. Banxa widget allows users to buy cryptocurrency within minutes, offering a range of payment methods, including bank transfer, credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and more. Soil runs on PulseChain by enabling Soil purchases, right? So Soil runs on PulseChain, and that by enabling Soil purchases, Banxa is making it possible for customers to acquire a PulseChain-backed asset instantly. No bridging or complex steps required. Each time you purchase Soil, this is the token, the PulseChain bot will automatically send Pulse to your wallet, enabling you to interact with your new Soil tokens, which is pretty awesome. That leaves you with 2 simple options. Hold, read more about Soil in our white paper, and decide if it's a long-term investment worth holding. Now, they just posted their white paper. I haven't read it out, but that is there. We're not going to do that today, but definitely check it out. Number 2, swap. Instantly trade your Soil for any other asset on PulseChain via Matthias, of course, the number 1 DEX aggregator on PulseChain. This integration dramatically simplifies onboarding to PulseChain. What used to take hours, days, or even weeks, in other words, just jumping from a centralized exchange to a wallet, to a bridge, to a DEX, and we just looked at a whole list of those, generally speaking, now takes just minutes. So it's really awesome. Why this partnership is a game changer? Of course, fees start as low as 1%, even cheaper than a traditional routes. Purchase limits are up to 30,000 euro and 150,000 euro a month, and a massive upgrade from the existing on-ramps. Decentralized liquidity sourcing powered by Matthias, eliminating the risk of centralized hacks or theft. We're thrilled to bring this innovation to PulseChain. This marks the beginning of an exciting journey. So I'm going to repost there. Pretty exciting. And I'm going to copy that into the chat there if you guys want to find out more. So Mini Meal and Banxa Onramp. So this is bullish. This is a really bullish thing for PulseChain generally. And many of you, if you're not involved with Soil, it probably won't matter too much. But actually, it's a big deal. And it's going to potentially have a big impact on capital flows for the weeks, months, and years ahead onto PulseChain. And that you're going to see why that's very important in a minute. So just take that into account. So that is it there. What else there? We've got NJ and house there. If there's not terrible slippage fees when buying the card, then we might be in business, boys, says NJ there. All right, so that's kind of cool. That is the link there. You can get in there, ask them any questions and so forth if you like, and of course repost that. That is there from Sunday Mini Meal. Now we're going to move on here, and we're going to get into another big thing. So this is massive. Obviously, the big, massive on-ramp PulseChain, new people, new capital, big deal. And of course, there we got David Feder out there as well. As you guys know, super popular community member on PulseChain. I'm now offering PulseChain private RPC URLs as a service. So this is really cool. We're getting more developers, they're really respected, launching some really good added value to PulseChain's utilities offerings, I guess. This is ideal for folks who want a backup connection to PulseChain during outages or peak use events. So it's a very cool utility there. And of course, as you guys know, David Feather offers validator machines, and he is pretty much, I think, something like 60% or more of the validators that are running today are using David Feather's services that they purchased off him. And so he's being a very key player actually on the old PulseChain. And of course, well-known Hexkin as well. That's David Feather there. I'm going to post a link to that as well if you guys want to check that out, either validating with using his setups, or he's got a whole shop for that, or obviously getting into using this service that he's got here as well. So it's David Feder. And bam. All right. So let's get into that. Dave Feder. What do I call it? RPC. RPC, I think it was. Service. And have I spelt that right? That's the question. It's very tiny little letters on my studio. I probably should make the studio bigger, but that's kind of the way there. Big shout out to Dave Feder. We appreciate all the stuff you do for the community there, both for validating and little services like this, RPC URLs. Kind of cool. That is that. So get out there, leave some comments, smash some likes. Don't forget to follow David as well. And if you do go to David's store, you can see it up top here, right? He's got the video feeds. He's also got the validatorstore.com. And like I say, when we get to GoPulse, I'm going to show you that people using his stuff are actually dominating. And this is a store where you can get, buy basically a whole setup, and he'll send it to you and all that. Pretty cool. He's got lots of customer reviews. Very well known Xkins, Toby Wan, other people using his services there. Look at number 7, David Feder, etc. Number 15, David Feder. So there we go. So he's got lots of cool stuff there as well, providing validator, computers. All right, so that gets us into PulseChain. And, of course, we got what day? 723 days since PulseChain launched on the 30th of May, 2023. And here we are today, 723 days later. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of a down day. But as I said, cup half full, it's a buy day as well, because you're getting it 12% cheaper on Pulse right now. It's at quadruple 0254, and that is only 25% of the mean sacrifice price. We're going to look at a big reason possibly why that went down today. So we're going to check that out. But, man, it's this means you can pick up more Pulse. And we just talked about David Feder's validating. You need 32 million Pulse to be a private validator. That is much cheaper now, 12% cheaper to get the Pulse. So pretty exciting. We got PulseX at the moment, quadruple 0202 at down 12%. That is at 20% of the mean sacrifice price. And the buy and burn is at 1,397 billion. I'm not sure if that's been updated, actually. Sometimes I think this gets stuck, but it's at 7.07% of the total supply, excluding the origin account sacrifice wallets. It's at 7.07%. And Sam token $10. Remember, we were down at like $1.15, $1.16, and we rallied all the way up to like $1.60, $1.70. Now we're right back down $1.10 now, down 8.3%. So, just remember that it does go up and it does go down. We got 55 million tokens in supply. We're about 5% of the original inflation rate. We're only producing about 0.03 ink tokens per second, which is about 2,600 per day, on top of a reasonably large base of 55 million, but of course one that is now very low inflationary. Will we get the Master Chief DAO handed over to the people? We shall see as well. Once it was fully distributed, we shall see what happens with the PulseX incentive token there with the DAO. Will we get single-side staking? All that sort of stuff coming up there. Hex at the moment, 5,300 of a penny on PulseChain. On eHex at 1,900 of a penny. The combined price, eHex and PHEX, is at 7,200 of a penny. And, of course, we know that out there on eHex, we got Dipcatcher launching his FlexNext, his second layer protocol for eHex. So that's going to be something pretty exciting. I think that they're going to be going up from $50 to $100 per parcel there. So just note that is coming with Dipcatcher. And so, yeah, Hex at the moment is actually the best performer today, only down 7.9%. See, that's another way of looking at a cup half full, right? That's kind of where we are there at the moment. Let's go to the gas prices. And we've got very low grey at the moment, or beats, 642,000. And we've got 0.6 of a penny for PulseX swap. So super, super duper cheap. And I can think of some useful use cases for cheap gas prices on PulseChain right now. And let's go to validators. We got 45,900 validators. We saw about 3,000 validators or so maybe go offline. And I'm not sure whether they'll come back online, what's happening with that. But that was pretty interesting like 2 days ago, wasn't it? 3 days ago. Now, the bridge, of course, is our health check. This is the one that's probably been hit quite a bit today. We're at 81.8 million. I think we're at 83.8. So we might be down about $3 million today. Obviously, we've got the main ones down, right? We've got eHex down. We've got ETH. Was it ETH down a little bit? ETH down a little bit, I think, in Bitcoin. But the DAI, right? We've had some selling of DAI. Now we're going to talk about that quickly because this is kind of perhaps the negative of the day. We've had so much positive news. We've got Dirty Crypto out here putting out here breaking news: $425,000 worth of PulseChain was just sold into DAI. So we can see that obviously our DAI amount here on the bridge has definitely gone down, because we were at 21.5, was it, something like that? We're now at about 20.8 million DAI sitting on the bridge. So yeah, swapped into ETH and was sent to Tornado Cash, that sneaky little Tornado Cash there rearing its head. History. Now, this is obviously Dirty Crypto's put them together. It's not my own, but it seems to make sense. We've got history here. KD Wallet, of course, KD there from XUSD team, the ones that flash crashed the old PDI and closed down the maker contract, PDI maker, and stopped the exploit, essentially. History there. KD Wallet ending 4DF3 successfully triggered emergency shutdown for MakerDAO, and sold PDI price chart down 99.99% into $500,000 worth of Pulse. PLS was later sent to the wallet ending 2D C5. I spoke to Katie, and here is some intel she told me. Now, some transactions have been sent to better bank wallets. The rest of the ETH will be sent through Tornado Cash and re-enter the chain in the future. So, short-term pain, long-term gain, and good actor, you can decide. Seems to be kind of okay so far, although some people could criticize some of the actions, for sure, especially if you're holding PDI. Thoughts there. The Band-Aid has been ripped off. MakerDAO extractor stuff is solved, which is great. Market will easily absorb the 500K. Time to move forward, says Dirty Crypto. It was a small price to pay for what could have been endless minting. And I think we can all agree on that. You cannot have that on a chain. We saw that Ivan on Tech yesterday was, commenting and mocking that, of course, which is fair enough. You can't have a real exploit there draining, liquidity out of the chain. And they can keep that cash cow going, right, in that case. So farewell, Mr. Dong. Is that what they say? Farewell, Mr. Dong. It sounds like a movie from the 1950s or something. All right. You will never know whether the sun gets back or not. The truth is, it doesn't even matter, says Crypto Dirty there. Dirty Crypto. Now, normally he would say something about that if so. So there we go. There's a little post there about that. And I will post this in the chat there in case you guys want to follow up on that. But that is the play there on that one. So let's post that. And that is on the drama today. I'll just post the link. I'm not going to do a write up to that, but you can check that out if you want to. That is the link there to the Crypto's commentary. Now, we did have your friend Somni in there. Now we don't know if the 500K was their payment to kill MakerDAO or it's part of the some other bridging plan. Time will tell there. That is from your Somni. So that's some of the stuff there on that. Now we're going to check out the total market. Obviously, that pulls the market down. We see PulseChain, the core Richard coins, down 10% or so. And so here we are with the mark. So we do have a bit of movement here. We're actually up on yesterday's volume. We were about $12.5 million of volume yesterday. We're actually up just under 14 million. Obviously, we've got pretty down charts though, which is unfortunate. But here we are. Was it the third or fourth day? We've been, around 12 to 14 million. Before that, we were sitting around 18 to 19, and before that, we were over 20 million. So this is kind of the trend that we've had over the last week. And here we can see actually some of the printer tokens are doing well. So we've got Dominance, that is up 66% at $1.11. So that's doing pretty well, obviously on all time frames, and still looks like it's still going there. That's one of the printer tokens there. So we're going to have a quick look at that one. And with the printer token there, you are earning a rat of Bitcoin, right? PRAT Bitcoin there. That is up there as well. Now, I said Pulse Rat Bitcoin has got to be a good narrative there. Obviously, the weakness was its tie to PDI, but that is looking pretty good at the moment. In fact, I want to bring up Pulse Coin List here, and I should have done this earlier, but we'll see, because it's the fastest way for me to bring up PDI, because I have PDI on another list, which I have to fix up there. But let's have a look here, see what we've got. In fact, I need to de-zoom this though. Let me just scroll back. I'm on the burn page. So let me just jump down here. Yeah, let me just scroll down here. So we got Rat Bitcoin at the moment on PulseChain at $230. So $230 has had quite a good run recently. It's down 20% for the week, but still looking pretty good. We've got the DAI coin here. This is the PDI. This is the one here. And let's have a look at the price chart here on this, given the Dirty Crypto's update. And what do we got on here on the daily? Not sure what pair this is, but we've got DAI Pulse here at the moment. We've got it at 0007700 at the moment on this particular pair. So that does seem to be the one that got sold down a bit as well. So that's kind of where we are on that. Now, I wanted to jump out of there. So that's what we got there with the printer token Dominance. Now, we're going to talk about, of course, Crypto Coffee. Now, we've got TopHat here sitting at number 2, basically. It's at number 3, but number 2 on the pairs. and that is up 7% today. Actually holding up pretty damn what you think. 100K here. This is from Crypto Coffee. And of course, Crypto Coffee, this is the man, the myth, and the legend here, the number one influencer in the PulseChain space. And yeah, hi, we got good to see Brennan. How's that? Heidi, folks. Good to see Brennan. Big shout out to you. And hey, look, we've got about 150 people watching at the moment. So definitely smash the follow button, hit the like button as well. And we've got the link to the show on X. So definitely share that around. That's right at the top of the chat there. Share that post if you can. Just go hit that right now. And don't forget to hit the follow button as well. I'm rebuilding on X. Had to start all again because, X takes, influencer channels down all the time and never, you try to repeal, but they never get back to you. So what's up? What I say? Cup half full, right? Start again. That's pretty much it. You got to, you can say something, but you got to do it too, right? You got to do it too. Big shout out to Brennan, our TO guru in the house. All right, so let's jump in. So that's Crypto Coffee there. And I must say, looks like he's getting younger. He reminds me of Ralph Macchio. Do you know Ralph Macchio of Karate Kid? Well, of course, everyone must know Ralph Macchio. But man, I'm sure Crypto Coffee seems to get younger all the time. And there he is, launching his TopHat, right? So there we go. And yeah, so people thought he was going to launch a coffee token, right? Coffee, but he launched a TopHat there, and that has done pretty well. So he's done some cool stuff there. Let me just have a look at some of these. 11 hours ago, TopHat joins the most successful liquidity web on PulseChain, preparing for the future, UFO and PDGC. Oh, wink, wink. So yeah, a lot of people would want to be linking their tokens to the old TopHat there with the number one influencer on the PulseChain community pushing it as well. So kind of cool. And so that's kind of cool. So when I say the number one influencer, obviously I'm taking into a number of metrics that I'm thinking about, and also the presentation and Coffee there is really a dominance out there. I think doing a great job out there. Now, what else we got here? Yeah, TopHat. He's got the contract here, of course, or the transaction hash. But you can see the UFO and PDC liquidity bond was burned. Welcome to TopHat. We love burning. So there we go, UFO and PDC liquidity bond. Burning going on there with TopHat there. So that's kind of cool. What else we got there? Let's jump up here. We got lots of cool stuff. I'm not sure if I missed one here, did I? Yeah, I think that's it. So that is from Crypto Coffee today. And what I've done is I've added the TopHat to the old influencer list. You guys remember that? We did a video on the influencer list. If you haven't checked it out, look at it on YouTube and Rumble. But we've actually got all the coins down on the influencer list down at the moment. But TopHat is green because it just, really got pumped. It's been around for a month, but it was sort of hidden, and then it got liquidity pumped into it, and now it's game on, right? So it's up 7% there. Let's have a look at the chart on this one. This is the Pulse chart, and we can see that it sort of had been sitting around here for a while and then got pumped out, and you can see the volume just suddenly coming in, and 500,000, $500,000 of volume it's come in here, and it's pumped all the way up here and went from what price? It was sitting at pretty much 0.00336 US dollars, and then it rallied all the way up to 4400th of a penny. So a massive return there if you'd managed to be just the luckiest person in the world getting onto that. That's up 11x on that move. It's still up currently 6x or 7x on the move, 600%. So just over 7x up on that move at the moment. And that's just inside, a day. So, and if you're lucky, it would have been a random chance, right? You're picking up that TopHat. You go, oh, look, I found this TopHat with this. So it's kind of cool. Buy some of that. Next minute, 10x. That's kind of funny there. All right. So what else there? I'm laughing at my own jokes. It's terrible. But hey, look, the crowd loves it too. The crowd loves it. Brennan says, may the 4th be with us, Wook. That's for sure. Only if you pick up some, says Wookie. That's true. Nice bounce for dominance. Yeah, it was a nice bounce there, Brennan. Absolutely. All right. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on the old TopHat. Looking pretty damn good. And that's from Crypto Coffee, the number one influencer. It's going to be interesting to see this play out. Now, I'm not sure if it has a description down here. It does. He says, I happen to like this TopHat. And, of course, if you remember Richard Hart at the beginning, his first couple shows, he was wearing TopHat and all that sort of stuff. You can go check those out on YouTube. Now, some TopHats, when you look on the side, they just go straight. I don't like a TopHat that goes straight. I like this curved deal. Some TopHats just come up straight on the top. I think it looks boring. I like a TopHat that flares at the top of a little bit. So I probably know more about TopHats than the average gentleman. In fact, I was watching a gentleman in the United States doing, classic suits and all the, man, he knew the stuff upside down. It's like he was like 300 years old. He looked like all the modern suit development all the way up today, and he's a very good YouTuber. Check him out. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but top of my head, but that's definitely the case. And now that I know what the hell I'm talking about, I know that one holds their shape. I know what shape is good. I know which ones aren't going to sweat on your head too much. I'm now qualified to sell them better than most other people. Launched on pump tires, only on PulseChain there. So there we are. There's the old top hat there as well. And of course, you guys know that is the image there. The old curves there. So that is done pretty well. And over the last sort of 48 hours. Now, number 3 there is sitting out there. And we've got, what else we got? Number 3 is Linker. Been around for 4 months. That's up 5%. We've got ETH TC in the house. That's been over a year. That's up 4%. We got the old X there, been around for six months. That's up 4% there. And UpX there, Bulge on top of Pulse there, up to 2.25%. And finally, we've got our first Oracle on PulseChain from Liquid Loans, Fetch Oracle, managing to be slightly green up there today at 1/1500th of a penny. Pretty interesting. Now, we're still waiting, as you guys know, for Signum Oracle and, of course, the Tetra interface, which is going to be it's going to be downloadable. They've moved away from Web3. It's going to be downloadable. And that's going to be, I think, a real big game-changing niche on PulseChain. We could see a lot of trading niches out of that, a lot of videos on interacting with smart contracts. It really is democratizing code, right? So you don't need a coder, and you can just use it's sort of a drag and drop sort of node connector type models for that. I can't wait for the Tetra to come out. Now, it is apparently the bug was found on that, and so Stu's working on that, and it's probably pretty close. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Software can be tough, especially with this more advanced stuff. So looking forward to that. Now, that is kind of the leaders here on the default view at the moment, and that's kind of where we are. Now, we're going to get into some of the highlights here. We're going to get into King token. So I hope you guys enjoy this content. We have been covering it the last sort of day or so. So we're going to revisit this because this is pretty exciting. I just really like the tokenomics with King in particular. Was he a Wookiee super, says Wookiee? I don't know if he was smart. And what if he was smart and 300 years old, he had to be a Wookiee. And from another galaxy, you forget. And from another galaxy. That is true. All right. Was that joke sad? It was. Okay. Sorry about that. So we'll try and get things really moving. Let's go. Let's get things moving. The old King token in the house. And so we got the King token here. We've been talking about this like the last maybe day. And this is from GooGod. And I just love the tokenomics on this. You're earning most token, you're earning PulseX, and you're earning Teddy. I think 3 real winner tokens there, and all from King. And they've got a brand new website, and we're going to quickly check that out. But you can actually see I've posted a video, done a full video on this. You can check it out. And we've got all the socials here if you want to join up. So you can join the X account, join them on Telegram. Definitely get involved there. You'll meet the founder, GooGod, there, a very well-established founder in the PulseChain community. And, of course, the Alien King site there. You can obviously buy the token today. It's had a good pump the last day or so. And, of course, you can get in there on the YouTube and Rumble as well. So definitely check that out. Now, the video here is one video that I put together to cover the new web. It looks pretty damn amazing. And yes, the King aliens are out there. And look at these graphics from King. I mean, these guys are top-notch professionals. Very, very excited about that. And you can see that video there as well. Now, I'm going to post the link to this. Definitely check it. You can find the links. You can find this video on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and, of course, in our Discord as well. So definitely check that out. But I'm going to repost it here in case some of you want to watch that after the show. Definitely check that out. That is King in the house there. And that's got all the links. Watch it on X in video there, or in situ, as they say, in situ. Is that the way we put it? King GooGod's in the house there, the founder of King. King holding up well while Pulse on the dip. Interesting. Really has got some staying power. And like I say, I really do love the website, and I do love the rewards. Because if you got to offer some rewards that are actually going to help your portfolio rise, and I really like the combination there with most PulseX and Teddy takeover there. Definitely looking pretty good. Remember, PulseX is a Richard Hart token. Teddy takeover is backed by the largest influencer on X, which is Moon King, and of course he's the one. If you haven't seen the video of him in front of President Donald Trump talking about getting crypto on the front foot. And that was pretty cool. So I think some pretty quality tokens there. Kind of cool. We got Blair in the house. Hi, all. Good to see you, Blair. Welcome to the chat there as well. We've got about 180 people watching at the moment, so big shout out. Don't forget to smash the follow, hit the subscribe, and share the channel around. And definitely get your comments into the video. As you guys know, I love community comments. And I always comes back to what Richard said, back in the day. He says, someone asked him at a conference, what is your favorite thing about like PulseChain Hex? And he said the community, how impressive the community was. So pretty awesome. Get in there as well. So that is that. Let's go quickly check out the King website, because apparently there's been a little update there with the old dashboard, I think it was. Let me just jump back there on the old Google comment in the chat. Yeah, the leagues on the King website have been updated. So let's enter their website, and we're going to scroll down there. Now, as I understand it, there's going to be a lot of animations coming to the site, so you definitely want to check in on a regular basis, because there's going to be some cool animatics there. And yeah, let's have a look here. The categories in the house. So we've got the dashboard. You can paste your wallet in and see your results. And then, of course, we've got the user stats. And user stats is where the King leagues are. These are depending on how much a percentage of the King token you own, how they will go. These have all been updated. We've got the 10% compared to the video that I did. These have been updated since then. Just remember that when you're watching the video. But here we go. We've got dolphins here, 100. What do we got? 100 billion King there. And that shows at 12,000. And then you've got a whale there at the moment. So these have changed around a lot, because I think the Poseidon was sitting at around 3% or 4%, something like that. And here we are at 10%. So definitely check that out. Now, if you want to become a whale in the system, man, a lot of people want to become whales and tokens. You can do that now for 10 billion King. That's currently about a $1,250 investment. So that's very accessible to the retail book. And of course, if you want to become a shark, only $125 to become a shark right now, 0.1%. So you're in nice and early. And of course, the token there, giving you the volume that gets traded, gives you these tokens, of course, which is PulseX, Most, and a Teddy. And you can see so far it's given maybe $8,500 already in rewards to people, and you're earning these rewards. So as PulseX and Teddy and everything else goes up, these are going to go up in value as well. So you really got some hedging there in many ways as well. So I like it. So the more volume going through, the better. So check it out. That is on the Crypto Night Show, and I definitely posted you the links there. So you can check that out today. There we go. And hit up all the socials on King, and of course get into Telegram, Google. There will be more than happy to talk you through any questions you might have. All right, so that's kind of cool. The other one that we've been looking at the last day as well has been Axel Launchpad. Now, a lot of people, they want to do new tokens. They want to be their own community. They see all the cool stuff happening in crypto, and you can really, if you got a vision, you can really execute it, right? But a lot of people, I don't know how to code. I don't know how to do development. I don't know how to make a token. Well, we're getting more and more protocols at the front end of this on PulseChain that are enabling you to actually launch a token and a community, but do all the advanced stuff as well, like rewarding LP providers, setting up LP webbing, all sorts of stuff like that. It is really getting pretty exciting there. And I just know Swookie put out the Kings there. Nice one there. Nice one. All right, so we got Axel Launchpad is live. So a big shout out to ALGO out there. He's running this. He's been around. He's a doxed, of course, been around for some time on the PulseChain community, and already got a number of projects under his belt as well. Now, I put this out yesterday here. Make the crypto token you always dreamed of making on PulseChain. You can do it now. And, of course, you can check out the Axel launch here on the website. And I've kind of gone through that quickly, and it's got the cool animation, which I like. And, of course, you can enter the platform. We're going to watch a bit of this animation because it's pretty cool as well. Now, this is obviously with King, you're earning all those tokens, kind of a great reward token. With Launchpad, you can create your own token. So there we go. We've got a bit of both, everything there. And, of course, you can get into the website. You can hit the token launcher, and you can step through 5 steps to make your token. And it's pretty advanced configurations. You can do a lot of different flexible things here with this token. They also have a build panel where you can manage your token and all the results that are happening with that token. So it's a pretty clever. And I know it took ALGO there well over a year, I think, to build this out. And it's pretty much, I think, arguably at the frontier of token building and liquidity management, all that sort of stuff, community management. He's got some videos there, so you can actually see the founder on the video there. Like I say, doxed and got proven history with protocols there. The only thing I'd just mention, of course, is around the contracts. Contracts are verified. Now, the contracts are intentionally not verified at the launch, and they will verify once the platform gains recognition, which is a deliberate security measure to prevent easy code replication by others. That's certainly an issue for them. The platform is developed by ALGO, who is a fully doxed and has successfully built multiple function protocols and high credibility, and he's been around for a long time. So you can decide how you weigh those two things up. After deployment, only the builder has access to the contract keys and can modify the settings. No one else can, including the platform team. So there we go. And you can hit him up about all that in the chat there. But he's been around for some time. So there we go. That is it. But it's a pretty powerful product, that's for sure. So you can check that out and get into Telegram, all the good stuff there. Now, we've already posted quite a few of the benefits there, all in one platform for token creation, fully customized initial token allocation as well. You can do, I think, whitelists and stuff like that. It's got full access to the advanced builder panel, free logo, all that sort of stuff there you could possibly ask for there as well. Now, we've got the founder studios. We've got the founder socials, so you can definitely join up. If you've got any questions, get into the Telegram, probably the best place to be, but also check out the website. And, of course, there we go. It's up and to the right there. For people that want to, do their own token and ecosystem there. So full disclosure going on there. So kind of cool. That is Axel Launchpad, and it's pretty much at the frontier. There are a couple other good platforms out there, but definitely this seems to offer a lot of bells and whistles on the old Axel there. So I'm going to post the link to this as well. You can copy that and share it around. So definitely get there and definitely give it a look, and a big shout out. Hit up ALGO, as I say. It's always best to go to the founder if you've got any questions. So get out there as well. So with the Axel Launchpad. Now, there is a token Axel trading around for this platform, so you can check out Axel token as well. Actual Launchpad. And that is it there with everything you could possibly need to get access to for that. What happened to the Launchpad? There we go. That's the one I'm after. Big shout out there. What else do we got? USML announced there. Good shout out there. Radon new launch on PulseChain. Yields a EDI. That's the old there from USA. So EDI announced there. Launch Fine Nexian Farms deployer. There we go. There's another alternative as well. So you can check that out also. All right. Kind of cool. Big shout out there. What else? I think that's it. Have we wrapped everything up? How are we doing for time? An hour and 11 minutes. Man, awesome. Because you guys know an hour and 15 is kind of the max I try to hit to. We're already up to an hour and 12 minutes. All right. What else do we got there? We got USA and the house, still in the house there. This is free ESO, bro. Just use different handles, says USA. Woohoo. All right, so what else are we going to say? That's done as an alpha. Who remembers everything we talked about? Because it was a lot of alpha drops there, a lot of informational drops. But man, anything on a 12% pullback at the moment on PulseChain, that's always a good place for a DCAing and picking up some more. You lower your average as well, and just have to be patient there. Now, it looks like MakerDAO is shut down. Liquidity has been thinned out. Means that the chain can really start to step up with capital flows. We've got capital flows coming in from the new Banxa, I should say, Onramp that's launching on Monday. That potentially is massive. That is backed by Sun Minimeal, the big food corporate, the holy grail of healthy food. And so that who knows how much money could flow through, how many new people will onboard the PulseChain directly through that. It's mega, as I say. So that's kind of cool. We've also got potentiality for Katie and the XUSD team to funnel some of that $500,000 or $400,000 back into the system. So we're looking forward to that. Obviously, XUSD there, an incentive-based, volatile token there that's designed to slowly increase in value over time, certainly up towards $1. So we're watching that. That has Rack and Rochelle, one pretty much our top whale, invested in that, as well as their good vibes, their bad vibes token as well. So they got a whole ton of LP webbing too, right? There's a whole ton of LP webbing. Get incentivized to trade that and get more vibes. So kind of cool. And what else? So we've got that. We've got Banxa. We've got Crypto Coffee, the biggest influencer in the place, finally launching a coin. We've been talking about it every so often, but he finally did it. And so that's been performing like a boss at number one. Number one today? Yeah, number two today, was it? Number two behind the printer token, and doing pretty well. We've got obviously some cool devs like Alex Mafferda out there doing launching good utilities for people around RPC URLs, and we can't wait, of course, for Richard Hart. So I've got Richard Hart in the title of the video there, and that's because it just has this feeling with all the posts and new little platforms that Richard's been launching, that he's just building towards something beautiful in terms of maybe potentially doing a live stream again that would invigorate the community. He has top engagement, I think, without a doubt, out of any founder in crypto, out of any influencer in crypto. There's no one that even gets close, I think, to his engagement levels. Pretty insane, right? Pretty insane levels there. And he can garner, tens of thousands of people on live streams. It really is crazy how high he can get to. And I'm sure being away for so long, it'd be a pretty beautiful thing, which would be a lot of fun. Now, I think the one thing, though, has been very important for the community to get the developers building, to get the influencers back on. We're seeing more influencers from back in the day jump back online. Recently, we saw Jim Rat Crypto come back, and several others influencers as well. So it's kind of cool, getting as many of those medium to large influencers back is very, very important. And just builds the promotional message. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if you're not promoting it, no one hears about it, right? That's pretty much it. So very, very important there. What else are we going to say? Lots of opportunity in the market right now to just scoop up because altcoin season's coming. Trump's strategy is playing out like a dream. Honestly, forget all the mainstream noise. They're the people that destroyed our countries. Don't listen to them, and just look at the data yourself. Always go to the source data. Be very careful of what you listen to because you can have people telling you complete nonsense. It sounds good, but it's complete nonsense. And it's really important for you to go to the source material and also be very critical. Put your critical cap on and have a look at a number of experts, a number of perspectives, and then you're probably about as good as informed judgment you'll be able to make there as well. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And there was a lot of stuff in there, man. We covered the U.S. economy. We covered Trump's strategy. We covered the golden age of America coming. We covered crypto bull market coming. We're going to have a few of these dips in the way, but I think we're setting up for a very strong chain now. Make it close down, and lots of tokens to accumulate right now at very good prices. Bring it on, game on. We've got new big onboarding coming, big capital flow coming from that. We've got our whales like Rack and Rochelle, like Firewhale launching epic protocols, of course, pushing money into particular tokens. You got to know which ones are the winners and get the most out of it. So hope we're going to help you with that on this channel. Every single day we're going through different categories. Some are riskier than others, but all of crypto to some degree is risky, right? It is a more risky asset class compared to stocks and other things, bonds, of course, cash. So just take that into account. But we're focusing on it all. We're doing it all, right? We're pretty much covering it all. And there's something there for everybody, right, in the crypto. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, share the channels around, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. We'll probably do a weekly review tomorrow of crypto since it'll kind of be the end of the week for the United States. It'll be Monday for us down under here in New Zealand and Australia. And this is the way we go. All right, peace out, everybody. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm going to play this video one more time, though, because you guys know we've got to do it. We've got to do it. So let me get back here and let me play this video. I got to do it. I'm sorry. This is like number 7 time, but I'm addicted to it. It's so funny. Everybody wanted Richard Hart. I said Richard Hart's in the video. Let's go. Richard Hart. There we go. There. We're going to play.
What's up, bitches? Richard here, a.k.a. Most Wanted, a.k.a. Most Loved, a.k.a. Sack Daddy. If you happen to not live on planet Earth, you may have not heard the latest. I fucking beat the SEC case. I want to say thank you to my supporters for never doubting me. Adding to that, I want to send a clear message to anyone who did doubt me. You will not be spared.
All right. I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Enjoy your rest of your weekend. Until tomorrow. Bye for now.